India is all set to get its 15th president today. A total of 31 ballot boxes will be counted. Counting for votes begins at 11 a.m. at the Parliament House. NDA presidential candidate Droupadi Murmu is likely to sweep the polls. If that happens, she'll be the first president from the tribal community. She'll also be the first president from Odisha. Now, competing with her is the opposition's candidate Yashwant Sinha. Remember, he was once a part of the BJP for more than 2 decades. Now, the voting takes place on the 18th, took place already on the 18th of July. Next, we're going to show you very quickly reactions that are coming in from Murmu's own hometown. This is her brother. Take a look.
आपको तो कभी ये अंदाज नहीं होगा कि आपकी बहन एक दिन राष्ट्रपति बनेगी। अब जब बनने जा रही है तो क्या महसूस होता है आपको?
कभी हम नहीं सोचा था कि मेरे बहन राष्ट्रपति एक दिन बनेगा करके, लेकिन अभी तो बनने वाला है करके मैं भी सुन रहा हूँ तो हमको बहुत खुश है।
उनमें सबसे बड़ी खासियत क्या है?
उसका खासियत तो मतलब लोगों से मिलता जुलता है और ये जो जितना वो जो ये टाइम में काम किया हुआ है उसका चलते भी इसको 100 आदमी अच्छे सोच के मतलब 100 आदमी आता है कि उनसे बात करने के लिए। ये मतलब कोई भी बात हो जाएगा तो उससे पूछता है ये करने से कि क्या होगा नहीं होगा, उनको मतलब पूछने आ जाता है।
Numbers right now in the parliament stand heavily in favor of Murmu, with a number of allies like the AIADMK and a number of surprise parties also coming out in her support. Ahead of the declaration of the name of the 15th President of India, celebrations have already begun in Droupadi Murmu's home. My colleague Rupashri with more on this. Take a look.
We are in Rarangpur in the Mayurbhanj district of Odisha, and this is the place from where Droupadi Murmu actually started her political career as a councillor. If my camera person Guneet Singh can show you, the town is actually full of anticipation of a victory on the 21st. Laddus have been prepared and numberless of them actually have already been prepared, and people are ready to dish them out the moment the results come in. Not just that, mobile loudspeakers have been on the roads through the evening, essentially asking people to come and join in the victory procession once Murmu's results actually come in, or once the presidential polls results actually come in. द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के बारे में थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए।
द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी मैडम, रायरंगपुर के लोग जिन्हें दीदी के नाम से पुकारते हैं, ये जीत सिर्फ दीदी की नहीं, ये पूरे रायरंगपुर की जीत हमें ऐसा फील हो रहा है। और जैसे दिवाली के समय मिठाइयाँ बनती हैं उस तरीके से मिठाई बन रही है। हमें इतनी खुशी महसूस हो रही है कि मतलब ये शब्द में मैं आपको बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ।
द्रौपदी दीदी बहुत डाउन टू अर्थ है। जो भी उन प्रॉब्लम लेकर उनके पास जाने से वो हर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करती हैं, और आप कितने सालों पहले भी अगर उनसे मिलें और बहुत दिन बाद वापस जाकर मिलेंगे तो आपको रिकॉग्नाइज ज़रूर करेंगे।
All right, very quickly, before we move on from this story, we want to take you to quick profiles about both of the candidates. First, on one side, we have, as we've already discussed, Droupadi Murmu. She's the NDA's presidential pick. She's a 64-year-old leader from Odisha who began her career as a teacher. If elected, she will be the first tribal and the second woman to become the President of India if she takes the post. Take a deeper look at what her journey has been so far.
From the day the NDA picked her as the presidential nominee, Droupadi Murmu was the president in waiting.
श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू, इनको राष्ट्रपति का प्रत्याशी घोषित किया गया है एनडीए की तरफ से।
An announcement that did not come as much of a surprise, as in 2017 too, her name had figured in the NDA's shortlist for India's top constitutional office. Ramnath Kovind had then emerged as the dark horse. With the numbers stacked overwhelmingly in the favor of the NDA, her election is high on symbolism and less about the numbers game. An election which is witnessing the changing political axis. A selection that has placed the opposition camp in a quandary. Uddhav Thackeray, forced by the Shiv Sena MPs, broke ranks from allies in Mahavikas Aghadi to back her. TDP's Chandrababu Naidu came out to even campaign for her in Andhra Pradesh. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, India's only tribal party, had to support as well. After all, she had served as the governor of Jharkhand.
मेरे जो फैमिली बहुत गरीबी है, गरीबी थोड़ा मैं फाइनेंस सियाली उनको सपोर्ट करूं, इसीलिए थोड़ा पढ़ लिख के ऐसा बन जाऊं कि मुझे थोड़ा नौकरी मिल जाए. लेकिन मुझे पॉलिटिक्स में जाना, ये गवर्नर बनना, ये मैं कभी सोची नहीं थी.
64-year-old Draupadi Murmu, low profile and soft-spoken, has generally steered clear of controversy. She was also the only governor to complete a full term in office in Jharkhand, which has had 10 governments in its 2 decades of existence.
जो सेंट्रल ने हम मेरा बहन का नाम लिया ना, हम लोग बहुत खुश में, रायरंगपुर के बासिंदा सब खुश में है. आदिवासी महिला की पहले जो चुना गया ना, वही सबसे खुशी बात है.
पूरा रायरंगपुर के साथ ही उनका बहुत अच्छा संपर्क रहा है. सबका उन्होंने हमेशा साथ और सहयोग दिया और बहुत ही प्यार भरा संपर्क रहा है उनका सबों के साथ में. हमारे किसी भी प्रोग्राम में वो हमेशा आगे रहते थे और सबकी बातें सुनते थे.
तो काउंसिलर से होके विधायक भी बन गए. विधायक बन के वो बेस्ट अवार्ड भी उनको मिला है, नीलकंठ पुरस्कार मिला है उनको. उसके बाद वो मंत्री भी बने. सबका साथ मिल के काम करते हैं.
Born into a Santhali farmer's home in Uper Beda village of Mayurbhanj district, Murmu persisted with her studies even though she had to leave her village after class 7 in order to do so. With the help of relatives, she completed her schooling in Bhubaneswar and then joined Ramadevi Women's College. After her studies, Murmu got a job with the Odisha's Irrigation and Power Department. She, however, quit the job after she got married to Shyam Charan Murmu, a bank employee, and moved to Rairangpur, a town about 20 kilometers from her native village. She started teaching at the Sri Aurobindo Integral Education and Research Center in Rairangpur. It was here that her work with a Santhal organization, where she had enrolled in the 1990s, caught the attention of the BJP's Raj Kishore Das. Back then, it was a party that did not have much political influence in the state. Seeing potential in Murmu, he asked her to contest for councillor in the Rairangpur Notified Area Council. In 1997, she became councillor and later vice chairperson of the Rairangpur Corporation.
2000 में 97 5 साल का ये तो आप जानते हैं टर्म होता है, लेकिन बीच में मुझे जब जनरल इलेक्शन आ गया, मुझे 2000 में टिकट दिया गया. उन्होंने कहा आपको तो लड़ना है. मैंने बोला मेरे बच्चे छोटे छोटे हैं, मुझे ये तो काउंसिलर में थी, वाइस चेयरमैन थी, तो टाउन के अंदर मुझे घूमना पड़ता था. फिर अभी तो मुझे पूरा क्षेत्र में घूमना पड़ेगा, तो टाइम नहीं दे पाऊंगी. फिर मुझे थोड़ा, मैंने बोला ठीक है चलिए. बच्चे भी बोले ठीक है माँ, तुम लड़ना चाहती हो तो लड़ो.
She served twice as a BJP MLA in Odisha and also worked as a minister in the Naveen Patnaik government from the 2002 to 2004, when the BJP and Biju Janata Dal ran a coalition government. She was awarded the Neelkant Award for the Best Legislator by the Odisha Legislative Assembly. Droupadi Murmu's candidature signifies the BJP's efforts to bring the tribal and other marginalized communities to the mainstream. A convincing example of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. It's an outreach to the strong 10.42 crore scheduled tribes population of India, who are largely in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Maharashtra and other states in Northeast. The BJP hopes the message of the first tribal woman president of India will help them expand their footprints in tribal belts across the country and earn immediate electoral dividend in the upcoming polls. The move comes ahead of assembly elections in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. The four states have 128 seats reserved for scheduled tribes, of which the BJP had won just 35 in the last assembly elections. The BJP is also hoping that her candidature will strengthen its political hold in Odisha and get a foothold in Jharkhand, where it lost the elections in 2019.
आज भी हम कहते हैं कि आदिवासियों में ओडिशा में संथाल प्रोग्रेसिव है, लेकिन इतना भी प्रोग्रेसिव नहीं है कि वो दूसरों के साथ कॉम्पीट कर पाए। इसीलिए और भी थोड़ा अभी भी फाउंडेशन स्टेज में है। आगे जाने के लिए महिला को और पुरुष को दोनों को आगे आना होगा, जैसे परिवार चलाने के लिए दोनों की आवश्यकता है।
If 2017 was about a Dalit president, 2022 is about the first tribal president and a second woman president of India. The choice of a woman is again a message by the Modi government that women remain the centerpiece of its policy. 21st July will see history unfold, and most politicians won't want to be on the wrong side of it. In New Delhi, this is Maria Shakil.
And on the other side, opposite Droupadi Murmu, there is a different candidate. From being a trenchant critic of the Congress and the left as a BJP leader for over 2 decades, to a joint opposition candidate in the presidential elections. Yashwant Sinha, at one point a member also of the Trinamool Congress. His life has been nothing less than a roller coaster. Take a very quick look at this report on his life and his career so far.
All the members of the meeting, they unanimously suggested Sharad Pawar's name. Unanimously. If Sharad Pawar is agreed, is okay, but he said he is not interested.
After Sharad Pawar, Gopal Krishna Gandhi and Farooq Abdullah declined to be the opposition's presidential candidate, former BJP leader Yashwant Sinha was chosen as the joint opposition candidate.
We are happy to announce that we have unanimously, I stress the word unanimously, chosen Sri Yashwant Sinha as the common candidate of the opposition parties for the presidential election.
This year's election to the post of President of India is actually a fight or a contest not between two individuals. It is a contest between two ideologies.
Born in Patna in 1937, Yashwant Sinha was the 9th of 11 siblings. At the age of 23, he joined the civil services and was allotted the Bihar cadre. In 1974, when Jayaprakash Narayan gave a call for total revolution, Sinha wanted to quit the services. The high point of his bureaucratic career was his term as Principal Secretary to Bihar Chief Minister and socialist icon Karpuri Thakur in 1977. Mr. Sinha suspended his long career in the Indian Administrative Services in 1984 and joined the JP movement, launching his foray into active politics. He first came to Parliament as a Rajya Sabha member in 1988 and became Finance Minister in the Chandrasekhar government in 1990. Though he was a close follower of Chandrasekhar, he switched sides to join the BJP in 1993, where he was seen as an aide of LK Advani. However, he fell out with the BJP veteran in his later years in the party. In 1998, he entered Lok Sabha from Hazaribagh constituency of Jharkhand. He won his second term to the Lok Sabha in 1999 and handled the crucial portfolios of finance and external affairs in the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. In 2004, he lost the Lok Sabha polls, but the BJP nominated him to the Rajya Sabha. In 2009, he won for the third time from Hazaribagh.
श्री नरेंद्र मोदी को आगामी लोकसभा चुनाव के लिए प्राइम मिनिस्ट्रियल कैंडिडेट के रूप में प्रोजेक्ट किया जाए.
In 2013, when the BJP declared Narendra Modi as the chairman of the party's poll campaign committee in its national executive in Goa, Sinha was among the few BJP veterans to welcome the decision. In 2014, Sinha's son, Jayant, fought from his old constituency of Hazaribagh and won. He went on to become the MOS in the first Modi government. After being one of the tallest figures in the BJP for nearly 2.5 decades, Mr. Sinha quit the Saffron Party in 2018, alleging that the National Democratic Alliance government at the centre was undermining democratic institutions and he took sannyas from party politics.
मैंने मना कर दिया था कि मैं 2014 का लोकसभा का चुनाव नहीं लड़ूंगा, तो मेरे मन में यही बात थी कि अब मैं चुनावी राजनीति में भाग नहीं लूंगा.
Yashwant Sinha started an anti-BJP forum, Rashtra Manch, but it failed from the word go. In 2021, Sinha joined the TMC and became its vice president. For 84-year-old Yashwant Sinha, his political career has come full circle. From being a staunch critic of the Congress and the left as a BJP leader for over 2 decades to a joint opposition candidate supported by both. Yashwant Sinha knows he's fighting a losing battle. In New Delhi, this is Maria Shakil.
All right, we will be tracking that story on our channel through the day today. But the other big story that's taking place through the day today, right here in the capital, after grilling Rahul Gandhi, the Enforcement Directorate is set to quiz his mother, Congress President Sonia Gandhi, in the National Herald case. This is the first time that any federal probe agency will be questioning the Congress president. The ED is alleged that both Rahul and Sonia, along with other Congress officials, took over the Associated Journal through a sham transaction years ago. Both Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have come out against those claims. They've said that the ED is being misused by the government. Gandhi was unable to appear earlier for her summons due to poor health conditions because of COVID. The Congress party held a late-night meeting to protest against the summons. They've also decided that state units are set to stage dharnas against the very same today. We're going to be tracking that story once again through the day today. Very quickly, though, take a look at political reactions to this story.
श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी को जिस तरह राजनीतिक रूप से उनको प्रताड़ित करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है, उनको मालूम नहीं कोरोना से सेकेंड अटैक के बाद नहीं, उन्हें मालूम नहीं वो अस्वस्थ हैं, उन्हें मालूम नहीं सबसे बड़े दल की अध्यक्ष हैं, पर ये जो मोदी सरकार कर रही है एक नजीर बना के जा रही है और ये नजीर लोकतंत्र में उचित नहीं होती. संसद सड़क जहां तक हो सकेगा इस अन्याय के खिलाफ लड़ेंगे.
देखिए, हम लोग रणनीति है कि सारे सांसद संसद में इस मुद्दे को उठाएंगे, संसद में इस मुद्दे को उठाकर और पुरजोर ढंग से इसका विरोध करेंगे. इसके बाद सॉलिडारिटी में सब लोग ये प्रयास करेंगे कि हम लोग जो है वो AICC पहुंचे और वहां से हम जो है ये कोशिश करें कि हम लोग वहां तक जाएं.
देखिए, दोनों हाउसेस एडजर्न होंगे. एडजर्न होने के बाद सभी MPs मिलकर पंतमार्ग से और सीधे AICC जाएंगे. उसकी परमिशन पुलिस से ले रखी है और वहाँ पर जो नॉन MPs हैं, CWC मेंबर्स हैं, वो और सभी MPs मिलके फिर ED ऑफिस की तरफ रवाना होंगे और बाकी पुलिस रोकना चाहेगी तो वहीं गिरफ्तारी दी जाएगी।
हम इसका विरोध करेंगे, हम मैडम का साथ हैं क्योंकि ये पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा है और पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा को किसी भी कॉस्ट पे हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
All right, we're going to be tracking that story also eagerly today. Right before we let you go on break, though, something slightly different for you. As you might already know, 1 in every 11 Indians is diagnosed with diabetes. Network 18 has an initiative. It's called Netra Suraksha, India Against Diabetes, in association with Novartis. It's back with its second season, where we are raising much needed